Hello, Lisa.
So nice to see you again on JEDI
Yes,
Talks.
it's
Yes,
great to be back.
yes, it's so great to be back. I'm Lisa Wisner, and I welcome you all to JEDI Talks. And this is a space where we share conversations about justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Things that are near and dear to our heart. Conversations about how to move in the direction of more. Dr.
Yeah.
Tammy.
Yes,
So for
that's
those of
it.
y'all
That's it.
who don't know, I literally just kind of took from Dr. Tammy's playbook, right? Dr. Tammy, introduce yourself.
I am Dr. Tammy, success strategist, literacy educator, and I help you, purpose driven leaders, move in the direction of more and prepare for what's next. And one of the ways that I do that is today with
Yeah,
the JEDI Talks, having these conversations. So, Lisa,
yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's go, let's go. Okay, so if you've been watching the Jedi Talks, we've actually literally been revealing for you the Jedi way, right? And so there are moments in world history where we feel that social issues come to the forefront. And now I believe we have a global consciousness of the fact that, whether it was coronavirus or some of the social injustice, inequities, and discrimination all around the world, whatever it was that happened, to make the world come together and realize that we all have to think about things differently, I'm in love with it because we need it. We need this awakening. How do you feel about it, Dr. Tammy?
Oh, I agree. Look, this is the perfect time to have these conversations and to be real about it. But I think, part of our work this last month has been really getting people to a common understanding of the definition, what it is and what it means to be a Jedi and to practice the Jedi way. And so this has been really exciting. And so I'm now that, we all have the foundation. And if you're like, what are y'all talking about? Go
Yeah,
back and watch previous episodes. Go check them out. Make
yeah,
sure you connect with us, and that way you can see what I'm talking about. And then, as we go forward, we can add to this conversation and add value to what to everyone's understanding of Jedi.
yes, the Jedi way. And yes, if you are a fan of the epic space opera, Star Wars, then you're in the right space because we believe the Force is strong in the Jedi way. We truly believe in the Force. And we believe that the Force is within every single one of us. All of us are connected to our true humanity. When you really think about it, in the bigger scheme of things, we're all pretty much like stardust, right? I
Yeah.
think that's pretty much what we've realized is that we are, whether it's like the calcium in our teeth or whatever is going on with the chemical reactions in our cells, you're all just made up of energy when it
Yeah.
all comes down to it. And so we, like not doctor, but Leticia Wilson says, we are the sum total of our experiences. And so for me, the force is already within us, but the way you become a Jedi is you
It's to
activate it.
activate it.
Yes, you activate it. Woo! Yeah, you become a Jedi by, what is it, the lightsabers? You bring a lightsaber. So our lightsabers today, actually, let's go straight into that. Our lightsabers are all about justice. Can I do it? Justice, equity, diversity,
And
inclusion.
inclusion.
Yeah, and if we can even go a step further and define what
Hmm.
those actually mean, I think for me, one of the most exciting things about working with you, Dr. Tammy, is you being an educator. Okay, and so you always bring it back to the education. So can you read for us what justice is?
So justice is really eliminating barriers, and it's with equal rights and equitable opportunities, and that's what we try to accomplish when we're actually, practicing
Yeah,
the Jedi
yeah,
way.
the Jedi way and equity.
Equity is in policy, practice, and position.
Okay, and then diversity.
Diversity of people and just involving people from different backgrounds, and
Mhm.
that's key
Yeah,
because the last one is inclusion.
yeah.
And that's being inclusive and including people from different backgrounds, whether it's power, their voice, organizational culture, whatever that is that you're being very inclusive and including people from different walks of life.
Yes. And so today I thought maybe we could start with a quote.
Ooh,
So we
okay.
brought in a quote, Dr. Tammy. Have you ever heard this quote before?
Yes. And it's every time there's January comes, I hear this quote, just so you
Yeah.
know. Yes.
So injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And
Yes.
we all have heard this quote. Like, I don't think there's anybody who can say they've never heard it, but how are we applying this quote in our lives, right? Like,
Right.
it's just like you hear these things and you take them for granted. And sometimes you have to realize that the simplest one sentence verbiage, right? One sentence, I guess you could say, quote, can be life changing if you really dig deep into it. And that's what we're going to try to do for you today by showing you a graphic. Now, one of the things we've already uncovered as JEDIs is we love graphics. Dr. Bonnie likes reading. She likes books. She's an educator. I, for one, am a visual learner. And so I'm all about bringing the graphics in.
Me
So,
too.
yeah. So I know, Dr. Tammy, you are the one who pointed me in the direction of this graphic.
Right.
So
And
what?
so, and one of the things I want to say just about the quote is that, typically we think of an injustice as is an isolated incident. But when you think about it, you got to think about how it affects the rest of the world. What is that impact on other things going on in the world and our understanding? Like, I'm all about the mindset work. And part of this is mindset work. And so inequality. And so this graphic actually talks about inequality and equality and what that is, because of course we want to move into this idea of equity and justice. And so, when we talk about equality, it's people having the same thing, but that may not be what they need.
Mm-hmm,
Right? It
mm-hmm.
may not be that thing they need. So they have a book, but maybe that's not the book that they need. They need a book on cars, not trains, just to make this simplistic. So you give them what they need.
Yeah.
And so equality doesn't necessarily do that. It just makes sure everybody has a book and it's possibly the same book, right?
Yes. Yes.
Whereas equity, now you're giving me what I need. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
giving me what I need so I can do what you do, so I can thrive in my environment. And then justice, of course, if there's any barriers to me getting that book, to getting that thing, then that is eliminated, that is taken out of the way. And so this particular graphic shows that when it comes to the tree not being able to
Mm-hmm.
reach the top and get the fruit, because
Yeah.
you got to go out on a limb, right? That's where the fruit is. That's another quote. But so you go up to the so when you get to get to the fruit, there's different ways of doing that. And this graphic kind of shows you the difference between, we both have the same size ladder, but then one person is taller or has higher to reach than the other, and that's
Mm-hmm.
equality. And then justice is, okay, let's take away the barrier of this distance and being
Mm-hmm.
able to reach it. So I think this is a great
Mm-hmm.
graphic.
It is. So I guess the opportunity is the tree. And
Yes.
everyone needs to, we just need to do what's right.
Right.
Everyone should have an understanding of what justice is, because it's truly about just being
Yeah.
treated fairly. Everyone having access to the same opportunities.
Right. And I
So,
like that the
yeah.
tree is actually straight on the last one. Like, what the support that's needed is actually getting the tree straight and not necessarily the
Yes.
people. So it's also looking at those things, those resources that are out there and what we have
Mhm.
access to. So I
Yes.
really like that.
Right. And even dismantling systems and structures that create inequality, and we need to replace them with systems that promote fairness, that create opportunities, and celebrate diversity, right? So I
Right.
always feel like for you to thrive, somebody has to acknowledge that you exist. So I
Yes.
think on some human level, we all want to be loved. And so this is an opportunity for us as a society to see justice as the product of creating a diverse, inclusive, and equitable society. So I think
Absolutely.
we got it, right? So justice is, for me, justice is maybe the right? We want justice to be the light, right?
Yeah.
Justice is the product of the work that needs to be done.
Yes.
So now
Yes.
let's also summarize. Okay, so first of all, we have some fans. So hi,
Yes.
Andrea. We love seeing you here, Andrea. Welcome back. And we have the most awesome Leticia Wilson. Hello, ladies. Another phenomenal graphic. Yes, exactly. We love our graphics. And now on to another amazing graphic we found. Loving this one, Dr. Tammy.
Yes, and I like this one because it has the layers. So it shows this layer approach to diversity. So this is really describing diversity and how there's layers to diversity and how we need to be inclusive of all these layers, biological, your personal and cultural, and then of course organizational, like those spaces you occupy and those organizations you participate in. So
Yeah.
I think that whether it's your job or just, an organization that you're doing for volunteer service. So I really like this particular graphic for that reason, because it shows all layers and all the aspects of who we are. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. And when you think about who you are, you can't, like, it's inevitable, I guess you could say, right? So it's who you are. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's who you are. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Diversity is a fact. We talked about that in episode 3, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
who you are, it's your traits. It's otherwise every single piece of when people say, who are you? This is who you are. You are diverse. And then we also talked about intersectionality, right? Last time we talked about how, like Leticia says, she can put it in the chat so we can put it up for everyone to see. We are the sum total of our experiences, of our human experiences. You are not one thing. You're
Right. And I
not
think with
monolith.
exactly. And with diversity, I think we stay on that biological level and we don't think about all these levels. And then in addition to the things that are on here, there's other aspects of who I am that also play a part in that. And so I think that, the intersection of all of this is really important and to always consider and take into consideration. So yeah.
Love it. Keyword intersection. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's sort of go deeper, because remember last time when we showed the baseball field where people were watching baseball, and then we unpacked justice, we unpacked equity, but we want to bring the baseball graphic back, because this baseball graphic speaks volumes. So right now, this is the reality we have. Some people are starting at the very bottom where they're literally digging themselves out of a hole, right, Dr. Tammy?
Yes. Yes,
Can't
from a lack of resources, a lack of opportunity. Yes.
Yeah. And then when we look at equality, so as you can see here, and those of you who are watching in the chat, please tell us, what do you see in this graphic? What is the difference that just happened, right? Yes, now everybody has the same block, right? That's great. Yay! We have equality. Equality for all, right?
Yeah, really, but I'm like the little guy in the purple, because I'm so short that I'm usually the one that still can't see, even on my tippy toes.
Dr. Tammy. All right, Dr. Tammy. So Dr. Tammy just literally told you all that I guess she's not tall, right? So it doesn't matter. Equality doesn't help if the person you're helping doesn't need that, right? That's not what they need, right?
Yeah, so, or they need more of it, whatever.
Yeah. And actually, just looking at this graphic, what I see is that maybe the person on the left-hand side doesn't maybe even need a block. Do they need a block? Maybe that block could be given to the child, right? On the very end. So it could be Dr. Tammy. Dr. Tammy needs another block, right?
I need another block.
So she can enjoy the baseball game. So we definitely have a question that's come in, and we'll address it in a little bit. But I also want to bring up, because it actually talks about the rest of this, which is equity. So equity is, as you can see here, what happened. What happened here, Dr. Tammy?
Exactly what you predicted. They gave the box from the tall man to the little boy or girl, the child. I guess I say child since we don't know. But they gave the box. And then, okay, now we all can see. Yes.
Now we all can see. And we can say, yep, they're winning. They're winning. Whoever they are, they're winning, right? Those little people over there. Because, hello, we're still behind a fence, okay? Now, what does this mean? Justice, right? This is what justice is, right?
Exactly. And so, and I keep saying, removing the barriers. And in this case, that fence is the barrier. And so let's just remove that out of the way. And then, we can see without that in our way and obstructing our view. So, and I like the metaphor of that, obstructing our view. And I think that's what happens when barriers are in the way. Sometimes we can't see beyond that and know what we need. And so that's why advocates and those who are practicing the JEDI way are so important when it comes to equity and justice.
Yes. Yeah. And then now, kind of teeing up the question that was asked of us, how do we encourage companies, organizations to move beyond diversity and inclusion statements on websites? Now, We're definitely going to address that, Leticia.
Yes, we have something good
But
for
the
that.
next one talks a little bit about what inclusion is.
Right.
And I just kind of want to take a break from like this stepping and just let you know that, inclusion is whatever you want it to be, right? Because I think on some level, what if you don't even want to be on the team, right? That is a form of inclusion by having the choice to whether you want to be on the team or not. Does that make sense? I mean, I hate to put it a spin on it, but not everybody wants to be on the team, right?
Right.
You
Or
shouldn't have
do
to
the
be
same
forced.
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be forced, like, oh, if you want to be part of the team, you got to show up, right? It's like, yeah, but maybe the best version of myself doesn't show up like that, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so I like inclusion. So, what's the difference between justice and inclusion?
So inclusion is when everyone has the opportunity to be in the game. You notice how everyone has on the same outfit, or so those who are on the sideline have the same as the players, and so we're all inclusive. There's nothing that makes us stand out or different if that's something we want. Like Lisa
Yeah,
said, it's also a choice.
yeah,
Diversity is inevitable, but inclusion is intentional. So it's being intentional, because you can see the people on the sidelines, they have gloves. So apparently they are playing the game. But
yeah,
initially they were not dressed like those in the game. And now they are. Now they are part of the team. And it's being a part of that. And Leticia said inclusion is the opportunity to choose. I love that. Yes, that idea of choice.
yes,
So
it
yes.
is. And I think that is the point of humanity anyway. We do what we do for the freedom of choice. Like we all want to be our own, I guess, captains, right? we want to be able to have freedom of space, freedom of thought, freedom of whatever we want, right? That's what we're looking for.
Right.
But what we have to always weigh the costs, right? The
Right.
opportunities and the costs of it. And so let's go back to the question that was asked of us, which is, how do we encourage companies, organizations to move beyond diversity and inclusion statements on their websites?
Yeah. So
So
I will say before we get into it, like it's always about action and execution. And so I think it's holding people accountable to make sure that they carry out when they make that strategic plan, when they make those goals, that they actually put action behind it and a deadline. And so I just want to throw that out there as a strategist. Like that's definitely what you should do as an organization. But then Lisa's going to go back. Go ahead, Lisa, whatever you were going to say.
I'm tagging on to what you're saying because the point here is that a lot of organizations, their marketing team like spins a statement and they put it on their website, but what are they actually doing internally, right? Is that the work they're doing, or is it just a marketing ploy? And can I tell you, there's actually different levels in organizations of maturity in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when we have an organization that's pretty much just putting out a statement, but that statement doesn't actually live and breathe in the organization, right? So that statement kind of came from the marketing team. And yes, we love our Marcom team, right? Marketing and communication team are
Yes.
awesome, but it shouldn't come from marketing and communication. It should
Right.
come from the people within the organization, right? And you know when it doesn't because they're being reactive. And a lot of organizations started, putting up racial a page about prejudice. They're putting up a page about racism. They're putting up a page about Black Lives Matter. And to be fair, yes, we need that. But at the same time, we need there to be action, like you said, Dr. Tammy. We need there
Yes.
to be proof. Where's the proof, right? Where's the proof that you're doing the heavy lift? Do you have employee resource groups? Do you have opportunities for your groups to meet together and just have space, common love together, right? Do you have a space where you have avoiding bias in hiring processes? Do you have all of those opportunities within your organization to be able to build diverse teams and have those diverse teams stay there? So can I also point out that I work for the most amazing company. It's called Open Sesame, and we are fully committed to developing and I guess you could say producing organizations that are more inclusive but also productive and admired. And for me, part of my role is about making sure that the organizations that are our customers have action surrounding the training that they're assigning their employees. It's not just, oh, do this training on bias training. What is the bookend, right? I always say anything you're doing in life, you're like right now, you are all here to learn about diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, the JEDI way. But what is your bookend? How are you going to document what you learned today and challenge your
Right.
personal beliefs? Challenge your education
Mm.
and see where the gaps are. And so what I would say for organizations that just put a statement out there, and they're not doing the heavy lift, you need to look at your organization holistically, not just in the marketing department, right? What the marketing department is putting out there, maybe on Glassdoor, on LinkedIn, on your website. What are you doing internally to have the JEDI way, like literally infiltrated? The force is infiltrated in all of the actions of your organization.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have some love for you, Dr. Tammy. Love that action and deadlines equals accountability, right? So if we say we're going to be at a certain number on a certain date, let us measure and see whether we made it there, right? Or what we needed to do to get there. So Andre says action. Action. Oh, somebody has a talk about action.
Yeah, I think I hear action.
We have a talk about action, and we're going to be able to share that with y'all later. And so Leticia says, Lisa, golden nugget. What is the bookend? Look at what you're doing internally. Exactly, right? Like what's holding up the work that you want done, right? What is holding it up? What is holding your books up? So yeah, so I just want to kind of move on to the presentation and share with everybody some resources that Dr. Tammy and I have made available for you. So one of the things that we've done, if you go to the website that we created, now this site was actually a call to action by our community. They were like, we want to know what JEDI means, because we were having an event, and we'll tell you about the event in a little bit, but we're having an event and we kept saying the theme is JEDI, and everyone's like, what is that, right? Star Wars, oh my gosh, right? It's like, yeah, I like that. But it's kind of more than that, right? Because we believe in the JEDI way, and we truly believe in the action that is represented in the JEDI way. Go to this website, www.poweruptalks.org/JEDI, and sign up to learn the JEDI way. We have, Dr. Tammy and I have curated over 30 days. In fact, it's like 35 days of a drip of information about JEDI. So we don't want to like bombard you with, here, do this full day course. It's going to be like watering your brains. For those of you who are gardeners, you don't just show up to your garden and say, okay, it's that time of year, let me water you, and you throw gallons of water. What's going to happen? Your plants are going to drown. It's the same with your brain. You got to water the brain. So every day we're going to sprinkle you with just some good information about the JEDI way, about justice, equity, diversity, inclusion. 30-day plan to get you fully educated and inspired to be a JEDI. We're super excited about it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So powertalks.org/JEDI.
Right. And Leticia's like, yeah. We're super excited about it. And the other thing I want to bring up is that we really have an amazing event that's coming up. And this event is next week. Yes. We're literally 7 days away. 2 days.
Yes.
Today at this time, right?
Yes.
Today at this exact time, we're having a TEDx event. And this TEDx event, I'm going to make it full screen. This TEDx event is going to be hosted virtually, and we invite all of y'all to join us. We definitely want you to be here in the space. The theme of the event is JEDI, and we are just so proud here in our community to be licensees of TED, which is a global community where we share ideas for our community, right? So we have speakers. As you can see, we have 6 speakers. Actually, we have 7 speakers. We have 6 talks. We have 2 people who are actually giving a talk together, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, we invite you to come to TEDxColepark.com. Again, the theme is JEDI. So all of the talks you're going to hear about are going to be about justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Yes. So join us.
Join us there, okay? And then now I just kind of want to close off with a few comments that that I saw come in the chat. So, one of the things I want to bring, I guess, to fruition here is that, when we think about our full life, right? So, well, we're humans, we're all humans. So the World Bank actually did a study, and they found that the average human lives between 0 to 78 years old. And between that time, you actually spend your time doing similar things like the rest of the 7 billion people that live on this planet. We all have to eat. We all have to use the restroom. We all have to do certain things the same way. And what they found is that we actually spend a quarter of our lives, actually more than that, literally just sleeping and taking care of our biological functions, right? Which means going to the restroom, taking a shower, making yourself look good, right? So we all do that as humans. And what the World Bank found is that in your lifetime, you only have 9 years to do what you want to do. So if you have a job right now, most people have to work a job for a certain time of their life. If you're going to school right now and you're a student, students have to do that. They go to school, right? So you're not unique in that. And so my challenge here for organizations and for people who are watching is, what are you doing with your 9 years? If I told you right now that you're only going to live for 9 more years, which is kind of how they figured out the math,
Right.
what would you be doing different? How would you be treating people different? How do you want to be remembered? Like, what would justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion mean to you if you knew you only had 9 years? And I bet you, Dr. Tammy, it would mean action. It
Yes.
would mean I am not going to let my voice not be heard. I'm going to continue to voice my concerns when I see them. If I see a person struggling, I will be there to raise them up. I will be there to be a platform for them to stand up. I will be that hand to pull somebody up who is falling down. I'm pretty sure in those 9 years, you're going to be taking care to make sure that you make it the best 9 years ever.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like every single minute of every single day.
Yeah,
Even when I'm sleeping, everything is positive.
it is.
And spread that positivity.
Yeah. So we have Leticia who says, wow, deep question. What am I doing with my 9 years? Yes. But Leticia, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You had 9 years when you were an infant.
When you were zero.
You had 9 years when you were zero. You already kind of like eating up some of that time. I don't know what y'all are doing, Netflix and chill or whatever it is, right? The point is watching a documentary, taking implicit bias trainings, and all of this like quizzes you can take, all of these things are not action. You may think you're doing action, but are you really? Right? Action is maybe us, Dr. Tammy and I, sharing voice, right? We're here to educate with you. Maybe going out and volunteering. We have one person who's one of our TEDx Cool Park organizers. And by the way, can I make a plug?
Yes.
Dr. Tammy is actually the curator of our event. So we have a group of organizers.
You didn't have to say all that.
Yeah. Well, we have over 80 organizers who are putting this event together. Well, not 80 organizers. We have like 5 main organizers and 80 people in the membership. And so we put these events together. So Dr. Tammy is the curator of this JEDI event that's happening next week. But I want to bring this up because for me, I feel like it's important for people to pay attention to how fleeting life is. And you spend your time thinking, oh, you know what? I'll just do that tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I'll do it when my kids grow up. Or, oh, you know what? I don't have time right now. I'll just wait until after this. And the next thing you know, 10, 20, 30 years have gone by. And what have you done? Were you really being a JEDI in your life? And so that's my call to action is pay attention to the years you have, right? And if you meet somebody who's over 78, you need to high five them because they have won the life lottery. They are beyond what the World Bank says. And so high five them every day because they've earned time. You have earned time. So
like, what are you doing with your year 10? Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And so with that, I think we can end the show today. We definitely started this series because we have our TEDx event coming up. And so we wanted to educate and inspire everybody to learn more about the JEDI Way. So in closing, Dr. Tammy, you got anything?
Implement the JEDI Way. Join us at the link that Lisa showed you. I think she'll show us one more time for the Power Up Talks. .org/JEDI and hang out with us. There's some great information there, great resources, and make sure you share that link with your network. Make sure that you invite your network and whoever is in your community on your social media, share the link and share the broadcast. These are how you can be able to find these as well at that link. So make sure that you connect with us and stay tuned for more.
Yes, stay tuned for more. We're super excited. I kind of feel like I want to interview Leticia. There's some people who've been on here, fans and like super fans who've been giving us information. And then maybe later, who knows when, we'll be able to bring back JEDI Talks. But this is kind of officially the last show, right?
I know. This is the last show we planned. And of course, throughout this, we've had several ideas. So for future, series. So maybe we'll have some pop-up series, throughout the year.
Yeah, and we can maybe have guests just take over. Just come and take over the JEDI Talks. If you feel you have a conversation you want to share, come and take it over. Let us know. Go to that link, register, and then
Right.
we'll be in touch with you. You'll be in touch with us, and we'll be able to work together. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us on the show. Dr. Tammy, you are such a pleasure to be around. So I just want to thank you so much for being here in this Jedi space and being bold enough to come with me and learn together, right? I feel like we learned so much
We did.
in this process. So definitely join the Jedi movement. Wherever you are watching or listening right now, please subscribe. So we have YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're even on iHeartRadio, Dr. Tammy, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Alexa. Thank you, Amazon. Alexa can play your Jedi Talks for you. So everywhere and anywhere that you can tune in, you will find Jedi Talks. We truly hope that you are educated. We hope you are inspired, and we hope you are encouraged to be united with us as Jedis, people who are thinking about diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice for all, right? And we truly believe that our world will be a better place if we have more Jedis included in conversations all over the world. So today, more than ever before, Dr. Tammy, say it with me. May the force be with you. May
May
the
the
force
force
be
be
with
with
you,
you.
everybody. Hope you make today a wonderful day. And guess what? I can't end it without bringing in some comments. So I'm
Yes.
definitely going to bring in, Leticia says, call to action, taking action now, no time to wait, sense of urgency. Yes, 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 that's what I'm trying to get at. You only have so much time to get this Jedi way into your senses. This was great. We appreciate you. And I'm sad this is the last one. I'm sad too. I had so much fun with you, Dr. Tammy.
It's
This
great.
turned out to be better than I expected, by the
Yeah.
way. I don't even know how we pulled this off. This turned out to be way more fun. I was thinking, oh my
Yeah.
God, we're just going to talk about this, but it turned out to
Yes.
be so much fun. And Andrea says it perfectly. We learned a lot. So
We
thank
did.
you all
Yes.
so much for joining us on this show. And we hope you make today a Jedi full day. If that's even a word, just coined a word. Love you all. Bye.